It is January 2013 in Spanish Fork, Utah. A man opens a package on his kitchen counter. White powder rises into his face and settles on his tongue. His name is Curtis Green. He is 47. He works in customer support. The front door comes off its hinges. A tactical team enters. Green goes down on the carpet with a dozen weapons pointed at him and 2 chihuahuas at his feet. Federal agents book him for possession with intent to distribute. The weight of the cocaine is 1,092 grams. Green's employer finds out within days. His employer decides Green has to die. The employer hires a killer. The killer is a Drug Enforcement Administration agent. 9 months later, that same agent will be under federal investigation. 26 months later, he will plead guilty to stealing from the case. This is Silk Road. This story is based on court exhibits from United States v. Ulbricht, Department of Justice and FBI press releases, the criminal complaint and long-form reporting by Wired and Forbes. Links in the description. Some of the investigators' accounts come from interviews and conference talks given years afterwards. Where those accounts disagree with each other, this video says so. You have probably heard a number attached to this case. $1.2 billion. That number is on the FBI's own website. It is also wrong, and the government's own trial exhibit says so. We will come back to that. Ross Ulbricht grows up in Austin, Texas. Eagle Scout. Physics at the University of Texas at Dallas. A master's in materials science at Penn State, finished in 2009. He tries day trading. It fails. He starts a video game company. It fails. He ends up running a used book business out of a warehouse on shelves he builds himself. One night the shelves come down. All of them, he is reading Austrian economics. He decides that taxation is coercion. On his public profile, he writes that he wants to use economic theory to abolish coercion among mankind. He grows his own psilocybin mushrooms as starting inventory. The site goes live in the middle of January 2011. 6 days later, a user called Altoid posts on a mushroom forum recommending a new anonymous marketplace. A couple of days after that, Altoid posts again on a Bitcoin forum. The date of the first post is 27 January 2011. Remember Altoid. Here is the one thing you need to understand. Silk Road runs as a hidden service on Tor. That hides where the server is. Payment is in Bitcoin, run through a tumbler that obscures where the money comes from and where it goes. That is the outer shell, but the inside works like eBay. Vendor profiles, star ratings, shipping origin and destination, buyer reviews. This is a real screenshot. 1 gram of cocaine shipping from Spain worldwide. 1 gram of cannabis from the United Kingdom. Methylphenidate. A vendor with a rating of +600. And 4 rows down, under the category money, a listing for stolen Visa, MasterCard, and Discover card data. The site stated rules ban stolen goods. The site sells stolen goods. The page counter at the top reads 221 pages. That is one category. None of the encryption ends up mattering. The site is not broken open by cryptography. It is broken open by Google. By 2012, the operator has a name. He calls himself Dread Pirate Roberts, after the mask in The Princess Bride that is worn by one man after another. The point of the name is that it could be anybody. He is making money. On a single day in July 2013, his account receives 3,237 separate transfers. He is also being squeezed. Hackers take the site down for a week in May 2013 and he pays them off weekly. The figure is $50,000. A government seizure at the Mt. Gox exchange takes another $2 million. He buys 9 counterfeit driver's licenses so he can rent servers under false names. New York. Colorado, California, Texas, South Carolina, the United Kingdom, Queensland, New South Wales. Everyone carries his own photograph. Canadian Customs intercepts the package. Homeland Security agents turn up at his door in San Francisco to ask about it. He is polite. He mentions, unprompted, that anyone could hypothetically have bought fake documents on a website called Silk Road. The agents leave. They are not there about Silk Road. They take the licenses with them and file a report. Somewhere in Baltimore, a DEA agent has been talking to Dread Pirate Roberts for over a year. His name is Carl Mark Force IV. Online, he is a cartel middleman. He and the site's owner talk almost every night about diet, about music, about the strain of running something in secret. Then Curtis Green is arrested, and $350,000 in Bitcoin vanishes from Silk Road accounts. The site's owner assumes Green stole it. Well, he does not. The Justice Department later confirms that a Secret Service agent on the task force took the money, using account details obtained during the January 2013 search and arrest of Curtis Green. Dread Pirate Roberts asks his cartel friend to have Green beaten. Then he asks for the order to be changed to an execution. The exchange is in the trial record. Federal agents film a fake torture. They photograph Green face down on the floor, covered in tinned soup. They send the pictures. The owner pays $40,000 up front and $40,000 on delivery. Over the following months, he orders 5 more killings, a blackmailer for 1,655 bitcoins, a scammer and his housemates for 3,000 bitcoins. When the confirmation comes back, his reply is 2 words. Nobody dies, every one of the 6 is a fiction. The government later drops the murder charges entirely. He is never tried for any of it. 3 separate things are closing in at once, and none of the 3 agencies particularly likes the others. At O'Hare Airport in Chicago, a Homeland Security inspector finds a single ecstasy pill. Seizures go from 10 a week to more than 200. An agent named Jard Deryegian takes over a seized vendor account, then a moderator's account, then an administrator's account. To pass as her in live chat, he reads over 3,000 of her old conversations, copying her punctuation and her habit of capitalizing words for emphasis. Dread Pirate Roberts pays him about $1,000 a week in Bitcoin for customer support. At the FBI in New York, a misconfiguration exposes the site's real address. The trail runs to a data center outside Reykjavik. Icelandic police pull a mirror copy of the drive and hand it over. 2 of the 4 published accounts give the address as one number, 2 give another. Wired prints both in consecutive articles 4 weeks apart. Nobody has ever reconciled them. And at the Internal Revenue Service, an agent named Gary Ulford searches for early mentions of the site. He finds Altoid. He follows Altoid to a programming question about connecting to Tor. The question is posted from a personal email address containing a real name. A minute after posting, the user changes his handle to Frosty. Frosty is the name of the machine that administers the Silk Road server. Surveillance goes up in San Francisco. For weeks, every time Ulbricht opens his laptop, Dread Pirate Roberts appears online. Every time he closes it, Dread Pirate Roberts logs out. Tuesday, 1 October 2013, Glen Park, San Francisco. The local FBI office wants 3 tactical teams and a dawn raid on the house. One proposal, described afterwards by Deryegian, involves a helicopter and the back wall of the building. The New York agents point out that anyone can close a laptop lid in under a second. So they wait outside a cafe instead. The undercover agent's laptop battery is at 22%. At 2:45 p.m., Dread Pirate Roberts logs off. Surveillance reports a man leaving his house in a red sweater carrying a computer walking east. He tries the cafe. It is full. There are no free power outlets. He walks next door into the public library and sits down on the first floor, in the science fiction section. The undercover agent starts a chat and asks him to check a flagged message. Doing that requires the administrator panel. He logs in. What happens next has 4 surviving versions. Wired describes a man and a woman staging a fight behind him, and a plainclothes agent sitting opposite taking the laptop across the table. Deryeghian describes a faked fight, a surveillance officer grabbing the machine and immediately plugging it in. They had found the laptop model on his Amazon account. Forbes says only that the team subdued him and seized it. A library patron interviewed 2 days later tells a local news crew something different. She says a woman walked up to the table, shouted at him, and took the computer herself. The other people sitting at the table then stood up, cuffed him, and pulled FBI vests out from under their clothes. The whole thing takes under 10 seconds. The machine is open. The account logged in is called Mastermind. The machine's name is Frosty. He is 29 years old. In Iceland, the servers are locked down. In France, a self-destruct routine on the redirect server is found and stepped around. The site is replaced with a seizure notice. The Justice Department has a press conference planned with the Attorney General. That morning, the federal government shuts down. There is no press conference. There is barely a government. The market takes about a day to notice. The arrest is on the 1st. The MT Gox chart runs flat through the 2nd, then drops hard in the evening from about 140 to a low near 110. On BTC, the low is deeper and the recovery is faster. Now the numbers. These are the ones the jury saw. Total transactions January 2011 to October 2013, 1,530,252. Buyer accounts, 115,391. Seller accounts, 3,748. Total sales revenue, 9,912,070 bitcoins. In dollars valued as the trades actually happened, $213,888,103. Total commissions, 642,455 bitcoins. In dollars, $13,174,896. That is not 1.2 billion. The complaint reached that figure by taking 3 years of Bitcoin volume and multiplying it by 1 day's exchange rate in October 2013. The average value of a Silk Road Bitcoin across the site's whole life is about $21. Cocaine, 82,582 sales, $17,386,917. Heroin, 53,649 sales, $8,930,657. LSD, 54,567 sales, $7,073,838. Methamphetamine, 34,689 sales, $8,110,453. Cannabis alone, 137,117 sales, $24,502,585. Money-related categories, including stolen card data and digital currency, 32,820 sales, $3,273,833. There is no firearms category on the exhibit. There is a category for fireworks, one for musical instruments and one for hardware security keys, which sold 23 units. The trial takes 13 court days. The defense concedes that he built the site, then argues he sold it and was lured back to take the fall. The jury is out for under 4 hours, lunch included. The verdict is guilty on all 7 counts. He is sentenced on 29 May 2015 by Judge Catherine B. Forrest. Life imprisonment plus lifetime supervised release. on charges including continuing criminal enterprise, distributing narcotics by internet, computer hacking conspiracy, fraud with identification documents, and money laundering conspiracy. The prosecutor's statement names 6 young people who died from drugs bought on the site. One of them is 16. Carl Force pleads guilty on 1 July 2015 to extortion, money laundering, and obstruction. The Justice Department says he took more than $700,000 in Bitcoin, and that he also struck a film deal with 20th Century Fox while the case was live. Sean Bridges, the Secret Service agent, pleads guilty to diverting $820,000. He is sentenced to 71 months and ordered to forfeit over $650,000. He is later sentenced again in a separate proceeding to 24 months. Appeals to the Second Circuit in 2017 and the Supreme Court in 2018 both fail. Curtis Green is alive. So are all 5 of the other people whose deaths were ordered and paid for. On 21 January 2025, Ross Ulbricht is granted a full and unconditional pardon. He has served over 11 years. The pardon is the second one signed that week. It is argued about on the Senate floor 8 days later. On 29 May 2025, 10 years to the day after his sentencing, he walks onto a stage in Las Vegas in a dark suit and a red tie. At the same conference, his prison possessions are on a wall behind glass. 3 paintings, a notebook, a combination lock from his cell locker, the gray sweatsuit he wore out of the gate with the laundry bag still over the shoulder, his backpack and shoes from San Francisco from before the arrest. In the foreground of the display there is a drum, a djembe. The same instrument he was playing at a beach bonfire in San Francisco 3 days before the library. The camel logo is still in circulation. Silk Road 2 launched a month after the seizure and was taken down 13 months later, along with dozens of other markets, in an operation involving law enforcement from roughly 16 countries. The FBI page about the laptop still says $1.2 billion.